Hello everyone, and welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed and share this video so you don't miss any of the twists we're about to unpack. The entertainment scene woke up to a startling buzz today, a story that began as a murmur online and erupted into a whirlwind by midday. According to multiple on-set whispers and the flood of posts that followed, famed actor Gökberk Yıldırım allegedly lost his temper after seeing headlines about his partner in the press and on social media. What happened next stunned an entire crew. The tension spilled onto the set of Cemre Arda's brand new series. It was early, the type of morning when a production is at its calmest, lights warming up, makeup chairs humming, scripts flipping. The studio doors, however, reportedly swung open with a force that snapped everyone to attention. Witnesses say Gökberk arrived unannounced, his voice carrying before his face had fully cleared the corridor. Cameras hadn't rolled yet, still, everything felt like a scene. Technicians froze mid-step, extras pulled off their headphones, and heads turned in domino waves as he made his way onto the floor. The series stars Cemre Arda, whose name had been trending for hours. She was in her dressing room when it all began, preparing to step onto set and shoot an emotional sequence. People nearby say they heard a rising swell of voices in the hallway, then a harsher tone, then calls for security. Within seconds, a production assistant hurried over to lock down access points between the corridor and the main stage, but the hush broke into a uniform rustle, the unmistakable panic of a crew that had been blindsided. Those who were close enough to see describe a man overwhelmed, both by the sheer volume of online noise and his own protective instincts. The specifics of the rumor remain murky. Some claim it was a story twisting a casual off-camera moment into something far more scandalous. Others insist it was a misinterpretation of a scene from the series, framed by a bold headline that fed speculation. Either way, by the time the chatter found its way to Gökberk, it had multiplied. And that's when, insiders say, he made the choice to confront the situation directly. Security professionals responded almost immediately, stepping into the space around him and asking for calm. Filming paused at once, lights dimmed, and the director quietly told the actors to take 5. Though the commotion was contained quickly, the shock lingered, like the echo after a door slams in an empty room. One assistant, her hands still shaking hours later, tried to put the moment into words. Gökberk Yıldırım came through the set entrance with this storm around him, like attention followed wherever he moved. Voices rose. People didn't know whether to go forward or get out of the way. Until security stepped in, it felt like the room was holding its breath. Another crew member, who had just placed a mark on the floor for the next scene, shared their own perspective. Cemre stepped aside as soon as she sensed the tension. She didn't raise her voice, she never does. But you could see she was trying to quiet the air. His expression was so intense that even the clapperboard felt loud. Everything stopped. Within minutes of the disruption, the producers called an emergency meeting. They addressed the team, promised immediate safety adjustments, and reassured everyone that order would be restored. The studio's internal cameras and the security detail posted around the complex recorded what took place, and as often happens in the digital age, footage that looked like it was shot from a distance began surfacing online. Short, shaky clips appeared across platforms almost instantly, racking up views and generating a storm of commentary. In those snippets, what viewers saw: an abrupt entrance, raised voices, a wall of security ignited instant debate. Some voices online condemned the behavior as unprofessional and warned of potential legal and career ramifications if the reports proved accurate. Others stressed caution, arguing that the public was seeing a sliver of a more complicated story. Influencers, commentators, and tabloid watchers took turns offering theories, and the speculation only deepened as the day unfolded. Back on set, the production team moved from crisis to recovery mode. The focus turned to keeping everyone steady, including the woman at the center of the morning's chaos. Cemre Arda's management later issued a short message, stating that her safety was not compromised and that filming would resume shortly. True to that assurance, cameras did roll again after a brief pause that felt much longer than it was. The crew, though composed, carried the weight of what had just happened. People kept checking on one another between takes. A hairstylist quietly passed a water bottle to a young actor. A lighting tech cracked a careful joke, as if laughter might reset the room. Semra herself stepped out for a moment to speak with the producers, then returned to her mark. When she finally appeared on camera, her expression was calm but reflective. Later, she offered a clear, concise statement: "Everything is under control. Our set is safe. We're continuing from where we left off." Those few words echoed across social platforms. Many praised her poise. Others noted the softness around her eyes, the look of someone who had absorbed more than she let on. Meanwhile, whispers expanded into a chorus. What had triggered Gökberk Yıldırım in such a visible way? One version suggested a personal line crossed by an inflammatory headline involving Semra. Another pointed to frustration over a storyline in the series, perhaps a creative decision that was misinterpreted by fans and fanned by clickbait. A third theory leaned on the idea that recent, relentless speculation about their relationship had become intolerable. Without an official comment from him, the questions mounted. Production, for its part, made swift adjustments. Access was tightened. Private security staffing was boosted. Anyone without a credential was turned away, and even those with badges found themselves passing through additional checks. The producers also arranged for psychological support for any crew member who needed it, acknowledging that, while the incident had ended quickly, it had left a mark. As the day wore on, more details surfaced from people who had been there. A member of the technical team described the moment this way: "I've worked on sets for years, and I've never seen an entire room go silent so fast." Behind the camera, in front of it, every single person stiffened. You could feel the fear and the confusion. We simply weren't prepared for something like that. Even amid the shock, the cast stood together. Those who were not directly involved found small ways to ease one another back into a rhythm: quiet encouragement, a hand on a shoulder, a nod from across the room. The director thanked everyone for their patience, then carefully restarted the day. Semra, as much as anyone, kept moving, her professionalism coloring the room's mood. Still, those closest to her noted that the intensity of the morning had undoubtedly touched her. The public conversation grew more complicated. Some said flatly, "There's no excuse," citing industry standards and the responsibilities that come with fame. Others insisted there had to be a backstory, one that might reveal a combination of built-up tensions and misinformation. Legally, observers floated questions: if the entry was unauthorized, could there be consequences? If threats were alleged, what would come next? The whispers remained speculative, cautious in tone yet relentless in volume. For those who have followed their journey, the emotional charge of the day felt both shocking and oddly recognizable. Gökberk Yıldırım has long been known for his intensity on screen: his portrayals burn hot, his silences hold weight. Off camera, fans see a man who protects the people he loves. Semra Arda, meanwhile, has carved out a reputation for grace under pressure. A star whose steadiness on set anchors crews through the longest days. Together, they've been admired for their chemistry on red carpets, in interviews, in the radiance of small gestures captured by lenses from across the street. That public image collided with today's uneasy reports, creating a storyline that wouldn't let go. All afternoon, new angles kept appearing. Was it a culmination of months of rumors? Did a misleading clip spark a flame that had been quietly flickering? Could the morning's rupture be traced to a disagreement about the tone of a pivotal scene? This is what people in the industry debated as call sheets were shuffled and schedules were reworked. The production's official stance didn't waver: the set was secure, the work would continue, and the well-being of everyone in the building mattered most. By early evening, talk turned to what might happen next. Would Gökberk release a statement explaining his side? Would there be a clarification about the story that reportedly set him off? For now, he remained silent in public, and that silence kept fueling the conversation. Some urged compassion, reminding followers that stars are human beings with breaking points, especially when a narrative about someone they love feels out of control. Others stressed accountability, arguing that in a professional environment, emotions must be channeled differently. Clips from the set continued to circulate, slowed down, captioned, analyzed frame by frame. In them, what most viewers noticed was the same: a flash of temper, a quick perimeter formed by security, and a room of stunned faces. "We didn't expect this level of tension," wrote one fan under a trending post. "It's honestly scary," said another. A prominent commentator added, "This may be the most talked about moment of the month, but remember, we don't know everything yet." Inside the production office, measures were codified. Entry lists were updated. Additional personnel were assigned to monitor hallways between dressing rooms and set. Communication channels were streamlined so that, should anything unusual happen again, there would be a clear, calm plan. The producers thanked everyone for their patience and added a final reminder: safety first, then the art. As the sun began to set, the show found a fragile normal. The hum returned, slower but steady, with a heightened care for one another. Cemre wrapped a scene to a quiet round of applause, less for the take than for her steady hand through a turbulent day. People exhaled. Someone put on a mellow playlist. A catering tray appeared and, for the first time in hours, laughter sounded natural instead of forced. Whether this moment becomes a turning point for Gökberk Yıldırım remains to be seen. Talk of professional repercussions, potential legal reviews, and public perception will likely persist in the days ahead, especially if new statements emerge. What's certain is that today's incident raced through the entertainment world, leaving fans of both stars caught between concern and curiosity, admiration and disappointment. The love story that so many have rooted for now shares space with a morning they hope never repeats. In the midst of it all, one truth rang clear. Even on sets built to craft fiction, real emotions can take center stage. And when they do, the line between performance and life blurs just enough to remind everyone watching, on screens and from shadows, that fame is a fragile equation of image, intention, and the unpredictable weight of the moment. We'll keep following every update with care. If there's an official statement from Gökberk Yıldırım or an expanded note from Cemre Arda, you'll hear it here first. For now, the production is moving forward, the cameras are rolling again, and 1,000 eyes are waiting for the next frame. Thank you for watching Whispers of Turkish Stars. If you found this deep dive helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share. New details could surface any minute, and we'll be ready to bring them to you, calmly, clearly, and with respect for the people at the heart of the story.